Let me see. Yeah. Let me see what else I have to do live on Workplace by Facebook. I have to do around 19 different things to get this up and running. The name to the broadcast.
What page are you broadcasting on to Workplace?
The Tribe.
EXP, yeah, the Tribe.
Am I sharing on my timeline or in a group? In a group, right?
In a group, yeah, EXP Tribe.
Okay.
I think it's the Tribe at EXP Realty.
That's what it is. The Tribe at EXP Realty.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
I love that you're so technical, Pete. I'm very impressed.
I'm getting more and more technical as time goes on. I have to be. That's the big thing.
Mitch, did you do an event the other day?
We did an event on, yeah, so we do every 2 months, we do live events here.
Yeah.
This one was on building a team or a brokerage, and we had five panelists. We had I was on as a broker because we needed another broker. We had a Century 21 broker. We had two KW team members, team leaders, and our own Jeff Funk as a team leader also. It was great.
Cool. And it was a live event, right?
Yeah, we're doing them live. We're thinking about live streaming them because we've had so many requests from people around the country. It's just, we already lose $1,000 every time we do one. So we're just, debating if I want to lose another $1,000 every time we do one.
Hey, and Matt, remind everybody what our topic is today, will you?
We are talking about generating, how to generate listing leads, right? How to generate listings.
Yes.
You want me to start?
In this market of like gold. It's the same as discovering gold right now. If you can get a listing, I feel it's worth 5 to 10 sales minimum in this marketplace. You know, we had one listing we put on in Claremont last week, you guys. That's just outside San Diego or within San Diego, but not San Diego proper. And we put that on. We had in 2 days, we had 146 showings.
Jesus.
So let's just put it. So I'll put it this way: 145 people didn't get the house.
God.
So what do you think they're going to do? Right? They're going to buy something else, and that's what agents don't understand. That's when you can. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You know, if the 145 people don't get the house, just say I have 2 other opportunities coming up off market. We can make them an offer where you're not even competing against other people. Write up an offer, have them sign the offer of the buyer broker, walk to the neighbor's house and say, I have this person right now in writing that will buy your house for $1.2 million, give you as long of a rent back as you need, make it easy, no repairs, ready to go. Do you want to get a ridiculous price for your house? Sign right here on the line that's dotted. Here's a pen. Make sure your pen works. And that's it. That's done. Right?
That's the way.
So let's start off with Mitch. Mitch, I know you have limited time, so I want to get your insight. So how should people generate listing leads in this type of environment, and how do you win those listings, and how do you leverage them?
Sure. So, well, if you're in California or New England or New York, they're all moving. So it's easy because they're moving out of state. So you don't have to worry about where they're going to go next. That's the big problem, right? Where they're going to go next.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge everybody's having. What, if I sell today, where do I go? So what we've been doing with our agents, and some very successfully, the ones that are actually implementing, which of course is always the challenge, right? Looking for areas, looking for out of area non-homesteaded owners. So those are properties that they are renting out, that they bought, but we're looking for people that bought between 2010 and 2014. Every market's a little bit different on their dates, right? Because of when the crash was. But those people, I'll give you an example. In Palm Bay, Florida, in 2012, you could buy a 2004 home, 1,800 square feet for 60 grand. That house is now 350. So one thing we know, interest rates just went from 3 to 4%, right? We all just saw that happen last week. So we know at some point there's going to be some sort of correction in our market. It has to happen, right? Just it has to happen. So reach out to your people, and by the way, you can do all this through your tax rolls, There's a program called IMAP, which a lot of boards have. But you can find your non-homesteaded properties and people that live out of the area because they're not looking to, they're an investment property. And you send a letter, handwritten envelopes always. Letter can be typed. One thing we know for sure is the market is about to change with interest rates going up and inflation where it's at. Why not take advantage of locking in your profits now? Property values are getting ready to go down. Lock in your profits today because you paid 60 grand for your house. It's now worth 350. So it's not difficult. One of my agents did it in 2 months. She got 6 listings. So it's pretty amazing stuff. The other thing, if you're like some of us on this call, and you know people from these feeder states, like for us, our feeder states are California, New York, and all of New England, and Michigan and Ohio. Reach out to people up in those areas because those people are thinking about moving. And I talked to 3 people today that are on my 3-way calls that are moving from one from Wisconsin, one from New York, and one from Massachusetts, all moving to Florida. So they're going to have homes to sell. So reach out. You're not going to get the listing, but you get a referral fee, right? And then you get the buy sale if they're coming down to your area. So that's all I got. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can go over. I really want to give the rest of you guys time to talk, and I do have to go to this unbelievably exciting ethics class for being a board of director. You volunteer to be a board of director, then you got to do all this other crap. But that's an amazing way to get listings, and it's just not that difficult. The key is handwriting the envelope so they actually open the envelope. That's the challenge.
That is the challenge. That's good input. I want to hop over real fast to a balmy Philadelphia to the birthday boy, Craig Lurch. Happy birthday, buddy. I know it was your birthday the other day. How are you generating listings, getting listings in this type of market? I know everybody's market is tight, and what systems or what are you using to get listings?
One of the things that we've done, and thank you for the birthday wishes. That thing you sent was awesome. I got to figure out how you did that.
Pete knows birthdays.
I know Pete does know birthdays. Pete knows a lot. So one of the things that was actually something we learned off of this, and we're implementing it, and it seems to be working. We talked about 80% of the agents out there, one, don't stay in touch with their past clients, or they go out of the business in 3 to 5 years and they're extinct and their people can't even find them if they want because they're all secret agents. And or also they don't do any of their own souls or just listed. So one of the things that we're doing is, one is we're going back to some of the past clients that we've sold homes to see who those agents were and are they out of the business. Because if they are out of the business, we're going to jump on them. If they're in the business, we're going to be professional. We're not going to jump on them if we know the agent and all that stuff, because we want to also keep our rapport with the other agents good out there. Number 2, what we're doing is we're giving updates on the market. Instead of just saying just sold, just listed because I didn't do it, we're actually putting out market update. By the way, did you know your neighbor did this? Even though it's not ours, we can do that because all this is a market update. It's not breaking any rules that you're going to get in trouble that somebody says. Remember, 80% of the agents aren't doing it. Another thing that we're also doing is, as we do a transaction with another professional agent that did a good job, we're going out on Facebook and we're saying, hey, congratulations. Thank you for letting us sell this property to our buyer, John. We worked with a great agent from Keller Williams, Comp, whatever it may be. They were professional. They were great. Look forward to more transactions. So we're using the things that we're selling, but we're also complimenting. So those are the 3 things that we're doing, or we're focusing on implementing and going. A lot of it came from in here.
No, that's great input. And the other thing too, you guys, just remember, and my father taught me this a long time ago, and I'll share this saying with you. He used to always say to me, just remember one thing. People never forget about you. They just feel that you have forgotten about them. So why should they reward you? And that is why the national statistics through the National Association of Realtors is that people use the agent that they bought the house from only, I think it's like 24% of the time. So what happened to the other 76% of the time? It's because you didn't stay in front of them and involved with them in their life and what's going on. Even if it's just touching base with them quarterly, at least you're in front of them. But this is the time to reach out to people and say, hey, how's everything? Don't even talk about real estate. Talk about everything in their life. Make it all about them. And then at the very end, say, I have one question for you. Are you living in your dream home? And then just pause, because there's power in pause. And when you ask that to somebody, it makes them really reflect on where they are in their life and what they're doing. And then they'll give you gold. They'll say, no, I'm not, or I want to do this. It opens up a whole new conversation and dialogue that you can advise them where the market's at, what's happening in their neighborhood, what's the data, and then you can go from there. So that's just a little tip from me. I want to move it down to Matt Battiata, and I just want everybody to understand he's not bragging. He's just applying for a job. So Matty, go ahead. How are you getting listings? How are you winning the listings? How are you leveraging the listings? Give your best tips to everybody who's out there so they can create more production in their markets.
Okay, thanks, Pete. So there are, I don't know that there's two parts of it. The one part is, okay, what type of marketing are you going to do? And we've talked about that on past calls, everything from circle prospecting, doing direct mail, advertising, advertising on Facebook, door knocking, all these different things, Instagram. I think it was Dennis that mentioned, sending a letter out into a neighborhood saying, we have a specific buyer that's looking in this neighborhood with a handwritten letter. All of those things work. What I think is, there's so many different things. There's text marketing where you can text around a neighborhood, geographically. Title companies have, I forgot which title company out here, but there is some sort of a technology now where you can literally drop messages via text message into people's cell phones or in a particular geographic area. But to me, what's more important is, what is your USP, right? What is your pitch to get people to call you? Because I think, everybody, for example, here in San Diego knows that listings are at a premium. There's nothing on the market. And they all think that everybody's out, that they could probably list their home with anyone and it would sell. So the question is, what are you going to do? How are you going to differentiate yourself from all the other agents that might be hitting them up, right? So one of the things that's really strong, for example, I think is nobody right now wants to go through the hassle of having their house on the market and having lots of showings. So one thing that I've used really successfully, really for the last, since the pandemic started, is, sell without listing, and there's different variations on it. Sell without listing, sell in one weekend. I've now added, because I know people here don't know where they want to go. And they also, a lot of them are relocating out of the area. That's very, very common. They're moving to Florida and Idaho and Texas and all these places, and Tennessee and so forth. So I started promoting sell and stay, right? Which just means, you can sell your house. And even if you don't, I think the pitch that I came up with, are you interested in selling and capitalizing on the current market, but don't know where you're going? Well, you can sell and stay in your home. And the whole idea is, you don't want to get too specific on your pitch, because you want people to, you want people to call you. You want to get into a conversation and then work that into a meeting. That's the other thing, is when I get calls on different, leaders for getting listings, I don't want to give the people too much information over the phone, because I want to get in front of them. I want to get a meeting with them, right? So sell and stays worked really well. Mitch mentioned something before he got off the call that, again, everybody is, at least here in San Diego, is relocating out of the area. So it just occurred to me, why not say, hey, we specialize in sellers who are relocating out of the area, and we can help you with all the logistics as far as relocating. And all that means is, if you have a good mover, for example, you can refer them to a mover. Maybe you can get them a little bit of a discount, et cetera. The message is that you want to, it's a psychology. You want to figure out what the prospect, in this case, the seller, wants, and offer them something that nobody else is offering them. And, that goes back. I remember years and years and years ago, when I first got into real estate 20 years ago, that's the thing that was drilled into me early on is what am I going to come up that's going to make me different from all those agents out there? And so back then, I think I used to do something where I said, well, of course, we all had, if I can't sell your home, I'll buy it. And then I used to do, if I can't sell your home in 60 days, that sounds ridiculous now, but if I can't sell your home in 60 days, I'll pay you $1,000, right? Well, that doesn't work right now because of course, everybody thinks their house is going to sell in 5 minutes. But I think the important thing, ones that are working for me are sell in one weekend, sell and stay. I just did a new spot where I said, get a guaranteed written offer, get a guaranteed written offer and a bidding war on your home guaranteed, right? Because if you structure the listing where you open it up to showings in a weekend, what we do is we market the house for a solid week before we open it up to showings. And then we funnel all the showings into one weekend. And when you do it that way, you're going to get multiple showings crammed into one Saturday or one weekend. And then you're going to have multiple offers. And you let everybody know you're going to respond to offers on Monday. So, and you can, of course, combine that with doing an open house. But the bottom line is it's really no different. It's just that listings are at a premium right now. But you've got to come up with a pitch that's going to differentiate you from all the other agents out there that you're competing with. And it really doesn't matter whether you're selling $300,000 homes or $3 million homes. It's the same thing.
I think that's great stuff, Matt. When you guarantee that, do you actually have a one-page contract that they sign and you sign saying, hey, this is guaranteed, or is it just more verbal?
No, I give all, the way I cover all of that is I have a cancellation guarantee on all my listings that says the seller can cancel the listing at any time prior to accepting an offer without penalty. So my guarantee is, look, if you're not happy, if I don't do what I say, you can always cancel the listing. And it's extremely rare that anybody ever does cancel a listing. And so I think that's something that everybody should incorporate into when you're at a listing appointment. You say, look, you're not locked into a 6-month listing or anything like that. If you're not happy, you can cancel, you can fire me. And that covers any guarantee that you ever want to give them, whether it's, whatever the different guarantees that you offer. You just say, look, if you're not happy, you can cancel without penalty,
Yeah, can you post a copy of that, Matt, so that everybody can kind of see that cancellation guarantee that you use?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's great feedback. I love that you title everything where it's simple for consumers to follow and that it sets you apart, because people want that. They want somebody who is coming up with different things that are in alignment with what they're trying to achieve. Great stuff from Matt Battiata, #1 agent in the world for EXP and a lover of flannel shirts. So now we're going to go from Matt in balmy San Diego. We're going to go to our Southern Belle, Betty Gales, down in South Carolina. Betty,
Amen.
how are you getting leads? How are you getting listing leads? And how are you leveraging those to create more production?
Got it. One thing I'm having a lot of success with, and it's sort of, Dennis got me on this about sending the letter out. If you have a buyer that's looking at in a specific neighborhood, well, I took it further. I got the list of everybody in an area where I have a buyer. So everybody has buyers that can't find what they're looking for. So I would send out about 200 emails and texts telling them specifically about the buyer. And on the 2 times that I've just recently done it, I've gotten 2 listings. It's been crazy. And sold the next, and then they list and sell the next day, because I have a conversation with them about, we do send it to the person that we have the buyer for, but we also tell them, you might get more on the open market if you actually list it. And it's fun. It's really fun to do, because I got a response back from somebody I would have never contacted. And he probably knows 100 realtors. And he responded just to that text. I have something I'd like to sell, and got it. Another suggestion, of course, are the old expireds. Somebody that was listed 2 or more years ago. Great news to call and let them know how much their property is worth now. And you think they might know, but a lot of them do not know.
I think those are great tactics. How are you? So it's just past clients, people you've dealt with the past that you have their
No.
mobile numbers that you're texting to, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. So
I'm
I completely
actually-
missed the point. I
Yeah,
apologize.
I'm actually getting people's numbers that are in the neighborhood. And so, I'm emailing them. I haven't had any pushback on saying like, do you have permission to email or text me? I haven't had any pushback on that yet. So I find the numbers through the tax records or through different systems. Like Everybody Answers through Espresso is one place that I find the numbers.
So, okay. No, I like that tactic because if you can get in front of the people in the neighborhood, they always want to know what's going on in their neighborhood, right?
Exactly.
So that's a big thing. And you're actually providing information, providing a valuable service for them to get a jump on what's happening in the neighborhood and choosing their new neighbor, right? Because people like to choose their new neighbor. A lot of times they will be on the lookout for friends or family that want to move in the neighborhood, but it's kind of rude to go to your neighbor and say, hey, you guys, will you move? Will you leave the neighborhood? My cousin wants to move in here. So they need an intermediary or some kind of person in the middle that's going to come and say, look, this is what's happening. They're deciding to sell. If you're interested, come to me and I'll propose it to them. Then they don't feel rude. They don't feel as if they're moving somebody out of the neighborhood on their terms, right? And that's just how we're built as humans. So Espresso, and I think text message is the best. It gets a 95% open rate and return rate, you guys. And, put away the fears that, oh, somebody's going to get mad at me. They're going to get upset. They're going to say I'm on the do not call list. A great comeback to that is, did you know, hey, I really appreciate that. Did you know that you have to renew the do not call list every 12 months? Can I provide that information to you so it's up to date so you don't get other calls? Yeah.
Wow.
So I want to provide that service to you because I don't like when anybody calls me either. But while I have you on the phone, let me just give you a quick update on what's happening in your neighborhood. That's it.
That's a beautiful tip.
Yeah,
I didn't
think
know
that's a
that.
good tip.
Yeah.
Listen, this is Thursday tips, Betty. I'm coming with value. All right. I want everybody to triple their production. That's how
Hey,
we're doing it.
One thing I wanted to share with you is on our call last week, one of my colleagues, Janice Harper, she's probably on the call. She took what you said about the list price is the starting point.
Exactly.
The next day, multiple offers, guess who won?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that she won.
She won.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a true testimonial. That's a great story to share with any agents from any brokerages that they should be on this call. They don't need to spend their hard-earned money traveling and getting hotel rooms and being on planes to go to a mastermind. The mastermind is right here, and we're sharing all the things that we're using in production every day to get sales and to get closings and to get productive and to make money and to help people. And that's what you can do. That's a great tip, Betty. I love texting the neighborhood. There's a lot of different sources, you guys. That's why you have to have a good group around you that you surround yourself with that helps you with this information, this data to get it out there. It's not just going to come to you. You have to be proactive, reach out to the people and say, what can I use to get the numbers in this geographic farm? Not that you're geo-fencing them, but it's along the same lines, but it's a little more personal. And you can use a app. It's called Hit 'em Up. I'll put it in here right now. So Hit 'em Up, and you can do massive text messages where they come through and it looks like it's just being sent to one person, but you can put all the numbers in there and it basically BCCs everyone. So they don't see anybody else. And it looks the equivalent to a personalized message. And people like that. People like personalization. They want to feel special, right? If you haven't learned this with the up and coming generations, everybody wants a participation ribbon, right? For just showing up. So that's the key. All right, I want to shoot over to Brian Yarber real fast. He's back from the river. Look at him, he's ready to go. Brian, how in the past, and I know you've advised thousands of agents, and kept them on track as far as production and managing them and managing their careers. What would you advise people to do on how to get listings, how to leverage those listings in this type of market where it's moving so fast and so furious?
Well, I would say right now, what I'm seeing is old school interaction works best. Talking to people face to face. I think the younger generation gets communication with texting and Instagram and Facebook, but my generation, and I agree with Craig, getting back into handshakes and seeing people and talking to agents who are pretty much wiped out of the business. They have a book of business that still feeds them, but all they're doing is referring business, and they're not even wanting to get involved anymore. So some of the things that I'm doing is I go to meetings at our board of real estate and I look for people I haven't seen for a while. And most of them, if they're out of the business, they're usually at those meetings because they're out of the business. They just like to go and hang out with other realtors. And if you can strike up conversations with them, you'll find out they've just been referring business out of their book of business to agents who they really don't even know. So really get involved in networking with agents who you don't see. It's top producers in the area. Matt Battiata is going to be out of the business someday, and he's going to be referring a lot of business. So you want to be in his good standings, right? But something that really lately I'm noticing, there's two things that are the opportunity. So if you have a listing or someone in your office has a listing in an area that you really like, we know in California, every listing is going to get somewhere between 5 and 50 offers. It's just going to happen. The goal is to go meet all the neighbors before it happens and let them know it's going to happen. Because if you have a new listing, and in some areas of San Diego, you can't have a sign. So if you don't have a sign, you don't know the house is on the market. If you live in the area, you could drive by every day and not know a house is for sale. So you need to let the neighborhood know that you do have a listing, or there is a listing in the area, and it's going to have multiple offers, and we do not have enough inventory. And I had an agent call me the other day who lived 4 houses away from a house we sold. The agent called me directly. She said, "Hey, Brian, I saw you sold this property in our neighborhood. We're thinking about moving. We're going to take advantage of our 55 and older. We want to move one time." I knew the rules. She didn't. I had to educate her on what that means, how you can sell your property at 55 and older, how you can only take the certain value with you. The rest of the value, you're going to have additional taxes. And we walked through that whole thing. I said, we're way above list price. And are you really serious? Because I don't want to introduce you to all these other buyers and these people if you're going to waste their time right now because you aren't committed to list. She said, "No, I think so." So we put that together, and again, this is just old school stuff where if you get to know the neighborhood and you get to know the people in the area, and you do have an abundance of market activity, then somebody is going to consider selling and or do what Matt was saying, which is list and stay for a while because they don't have anywhere to go, but they are willing to list and rent back. Something else that I really see that I don't understand anymore is that, and there's a lot of agents on here, you are licensed in a state. So in this case, in California, I am licensed. Our agents, we take listings all over the state. We just listed a property in Sacramento. We list it first, and then we go find boots on the ground to assist us with it. So if you have a client who is in San Diego who wants to buy a property in Sacramento or help their kids buy a property, that's one thing. But if you have somebody who owns property in California and they live in your area or they don't live in your area, they just know you, they're a friend or a family, we always say they're trusting you with this conversation. So absolutely list the property. And then go find somebody who's willing to share that listing for 50%. Sometimes they'll do a 25% referral fee back to you. You don't even have to list put the property in the MLS. You just find somebody who's willing to put it in the MLS, willing to do the local circle marketing, do all the things, take all the leads. but you're there for the seller, you're their advocate. So I think we just listed our third or fourth property north of Sacramento in our office with our agents, just taking listings because the seller trusted them to take it. So those are the two right now that stand out to me. Is don't give up on a listing just because it's out of your area. List the property and then go find somebody you trust to help the seller with that property that you can communicate with.
Great point, because every market is tight. Listings are gold. What do you pay the seller advocate or the referral agent who are the boots on the ground in that area? What do you guys pay?
We offer 50-50. We say we need them as much as they need us. So with that 50-50, what we get is an opportunity to have somebody we like to work with, we trust, and then we don't introduce them to our clients. We introduce them to the property and the market and let them run with it. They don't need to meet the seller. The seller trusts us. The seller wants to deal with us. So if you have that kind of relationship with a client that says, hey, Brian, I just want to deal with you, I don't really want to get caught up in all the other stuff, then that's what we do. If they need more interaction, if they do need somebody who's going to hold open houses and they are going to interact with the client, then we're very delicate with that introduction. But once we have that introduction and the seller's comfortable with them, there have been times where we'll take a 30% or 40% referral fee because they're going to need us in the negotiations. That's really the value of this type of a activity, where we'll take the listing, we'll assign it if we need to, but most of the time we're in it with the seller and the other agent all the way through.
Great tips. I just did this the other day, you guys, and I'll just give you an example, because EXP has a phenomenal national and basically global referral network that is instantaneously. And I was able to place a few of my clients from California who were moving around in other areas. They needed, some had listings they had to sell, some had buyers. I mean, it'll make me this month almost an extra $100,000 just on that. So if you don't have resources like that, then talk to the person who invited you if they're connected to EXP, because it'll make you a lot more money in your production. All right, let me go over to Dennis real fast, and then I'm going to give the star of the show, Bill Kerbox, and his whole how to generate leads. We're going to get them off the Golden Gate Bridge and get them back to reality. All right, Dennis, what are you using? And Brian, great input. What are you using to get listings, to maintain listings, and to leverage those listings right now in this type of market?
So first thing we're doing is, thanks to Matt Battiata, we're doing his Sell Without Listing campaign. We're doing it in my neighborhood where I live in Crown Point. So this is a 4-page thing that Matt referenced. I think it's real estate marketing, I believe it is. And we're doing this in Crown Point. So it's a 4. No calls yet, but we'll find out. Okay. The listing letters, really, guys, is the #1 jackpot I've ever seen in my life. And I keep pounding it down your throats, but you get they implemented. The whole key is to implement it. Betty, I love Betty's idea of texting and emailing this, because that's a jackpot. But the letters work, you guys. They just work. I had an agent here that's joining my team that lives here in La Jolla. And it works. You send out about 300 and you can expect 2 to 3 calls. And a lot of times you have to have a real buyer, and a lot of times the buyer won't work for that particular house. Okay. So the response you say to the seller, looking to get the most money in your pocket. Every single time they'll say, I'm looking to get the most money. And then you just say, great, let me show you how I can do that for you. And then you go into a listing presentation. So it's a pretty simple transition if that buyer does not work for that particular house. Okay. Drive some Google pay-per-click traffic to the site. It's a seller evaluation kind of site. And I don't call, but I have my inside salesperson call these listings, and he just asks them, basic script on seller leads. So those are the 2 main things that follow your past clients, because that's basic knowledge we should all be doing.
I was typing. That's all great stuff from the Portuguese Prince, Dennis de Souza, there in Southern La Jolla. We're going to now move on past the Golden Gate Bridge. He's going from coast to coast. Bill Kerbox, our special guest. Bill has such a unique program, you guys, that I want you to take a look at that has generated at least 10 to 20 listing leads for me that we are leveraging. People are seeing it all the time on social media and so forth, because we know one thing. And the one thing we know, video sells to sellers. They love it. All right. Video sells to sellers. So Bill, share with everyone how you're helping agents across the nation 10x their production with your tools and your videos. Go ahead.
So believe it or not, thanks for having me on here. I love what Brian said, and I've actually heard it through pretty much what everybody else said. I have 38 years of real estate experience. I keep forgetting to add up a year here and there, but it's a long time. And I'm a door knocker. I'm a get it right to the door, get out and talk to people. I believe that is still 100% the case. So one of the things that we've been doing is what we call our print to video, and it's a unique shape mailer, and it's really all about the offer. I have an offer for your home and a QR code and a private link, and that when they slide their phone over that, it's going to go to one of our mobile sites. Everything's connected right to KV Core. Love KV Core or hate it, I happen to love it. It's got some powerful tools. And the point is, we want to get them in a bucket. And so, again, I heard it said, it's about that personal touch. If you print up 500 of these freaking mailers and you get them out there, and then when people slide it over, there you are. There's your video. I wish I could share one. Could I share a video on the screen here of one we just did that was a door knocking piece?
Yeah, I would love to see it. Let me make you the,
Okay.
I gotta, just give me 1 second here.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to make Bill the man, the myth, the legend when it comes to video. He's taking it coast to coast. I have to make Bill the host. Hold on.
All right.
And then Bill, I'll have to change it back before we stop recording.
Yeah,
You're the host. Take it away,
Okay.
Bill.
Okay, so this is one we did for a lovely gal here in Florida. Can you guys see my screen? Pete?
Yes.
Can you guys see screen? Okay, I'll play the video here. Let me open this up.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, it's Emily at your door, and I didn't want to disturb you, but I wanted to tell you about a recently sold home in your neighborhood that we did as a pocket listing. We did this using our advanced video marketing, and if you're interested in learning more about this process, give me a call. 830-4444.
So Emily has, we developed a mailer. She's putting that card in front of everybody's house. She's talking to everybody. We anticipate she'll probably get at least 2 listings from that. So she'll pay my fee for quite a while. The opposite, the other piece of that really is just getting out in the community and knocking on doors and talking to people. The other piece of this is, and this is more for the bigger stuff. I was on with Hawaii today and with Greg Burns, and he's got a product called Drop Offer. Have any of you heard of that before? So it's a mobile app, and you can go and just stand in front of a house, and you can start literally build a database that's connected to every home, in the United States, and the system will send out an offer. You have the program set up, but I met him on Inman, and it looks like it could be a possibility. He's using another platform, Property Stream, that has a lot of that access. And again, what we're talking about is just getting back to basics. So mailing with a video offer with a unique look, I think is an absolute home run. You've got to have an irresistible offer. This, I moved here to Florida. I'm one of those people. And I see the mail come in. It just looks the same, right? Just listed, just sold, everything. It just looks like white noise. So the irresistible offer really is, what is it? It's name your price, right? We used to use a name your price tool connected to actually bold leads. I think Dennis, you mentioned using one of those platforms, and I've used those for years with various success. But the idea of having a unique offer and then connecting it through that personal touch, I think is a huge piece. You just, and last but not least, and we tested some of this with Pete, and we're starting to with Matt, is just short video texting. Go into KV Core, make and grab the link. It's easy to get from your home value tool. Get a private domain. Just go into GoDaddy. I'm happy to do another webinar and show you guys how to do it. It's very basic, and just and it's your home value in 5 seconds, whatever, and start to text little videos to go through your database. Spend some time. Hey, John, it's Bill Kerbox. One of the houses on your street just sold for a crazy price. I didn't want to bug you, but I thought you may be interested in learning more. Just click on the link below, and you're going to see your KV Core go bip, 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 because people like that. With people like Pete and Matt, people that have have not been afraid to get on camera, we can do a little video that's got a little bit more pizzazz, but it's really just about the face, the texting connection, and an offer. What's the offer? I don't know if you know it or not, but KV Core actually has a very unique aspect to it. You can get properties that are in escrow. You can make a link to that, and you say, hey, John, I know you're thinking about selling. You may want some of this advanced information. We can see the homes that haven't actually closed, but we can see the process of these selling. So you're like Pete's the master of value, get on the, something to make you stand out. It's tough. Why aren't these people moving? I was on a webinar today about interest rates, and that's going to be a very interesting piece, and where they're going and trying to slow inflation down. But at the end of the day, if I had one thing to say, I would say do a mailer with a unique offer and a link and a QR code to KV Core, and get out and start talking to people about real estate. And if you can't get a deal out of that, I think you should just go and turn your license in, because
Great tip. And Bill, you guys, I want everybody to share. Bill, I want you to share with the unique marketing proposal with the QR code.
Yeah.
What happens when anybody, it could be somebody 65 years old. We all know how to scan our camera over the QR code. When they scan that, what do you get from that person scanning over that QR code?
Well, first of all, COVID, one of the best things COVID did, blew up my business and my company. I'm sorry to say that a lot of people had to, be negatively affected, but QR codes now are the standard. Before that, we were always making a custom domain. Like today, we're getting ready to do a big boot camp and a luxury event in Martha's Vineyard. We just bought a domain and linked it to whatever it is. We linked it to KV Core. But the idea is that when they swipe that link, it's going to go to one of our little mobile pages, probably going to have a video and a link right there. Your home value, see properties in escrow, talk to Bill, something to that effect. With Matt, for example, we did all of his neighborhoods as market watches, and every one of those videos got Matt in it. I mean, he looks great. And he's telling them, hey, click on the link. You can go to the neighborhood report, you can go to the home value, and you can search. But here's the one that people really just don't seem to get. I'm assuming they don't get it because I don't see it. The area, I call it the neighborhood report, is at the bottom of the page on your your KV Core site. That's become my go-to place. Because if I make a QR code and go to your neighborhood report, because I think it was Brian or somebody was talking about the neighborhood report. Oh, no, I know. Someone on the chat said, where do we get a neighborhood report? Well, it's built right into KV Core and it's updated every 15 minutes. And it's fantastic. They can see the best properties. They can get their home value. They can see the curve. They can see everything. So again, I'm coming back to KV Core. The reason I like it, because it's all in one place. It's got a lot of tools and it will give you the ability, if you spend a little bit of time, and of course, always, connecting it to video, to really build a business, and we're in it for the long haul here.
All right, Bill, great stuff. Make me the host again if you can up in the
All
corner.
righty.
And then I love all that. I put down Curbox Media. If you want to get in touch with Bill, you want to take your videos, your marketing, your QR codes, everything to the next level. I mean, look at the picture he has on the screen. He looks like a model from Hawaii,
You're killing me.
He's chasing the waves, but I want to go back to Brian Yarber. He had his hand up. Brian,
Can you see? Did I let you go? You got the screen again?
Let me see. I'll check it out right now. I don't know if I'm the host. It doesn't say that I am. Just make me the host. Go up in your upper right corner and say, make Pete the host.
Hold on here.
All right. While you're trying to figure that out, Bill, and I know you can figure everything else out.
It's done.
Okay, great. Brian, let's go to you. What did you want to add to all that?
Yeah, I forgot something I think is really important. I'd probably list 3 or 4 properties a year with this. It's get to know tenants. Tenants who are renting homes typically are offered to buy the home from the landlord before the landlord lists the property. So if you're farming, you're door knocking, make sure you know when you're knocking on a door that it's a tenant occupied. How you do that obviously is you have your title company run a non-owner occupied list and you do the door knocking campaign and just talk to tenants. Tenants are typically the first people to know a house is going to be sold because they can't renew their lease. So the more you have that interaction with neighborhood tenants, and then if you do sell a property, look for all the absentee owners. This was like an old school Calvin Goat. If some of you guys know Calvin Goat, or, it's an old Michael Gallagher trick where they would call all of those absentee owners and say, hey, I just sold a property in your neighborhood and you're in Texas. Are you up on the market? Do you know, would you like to? The key was, would you like to relocate all your equity closer to you? And get them into a 1031 exchange. And let's list the properties subject to you finding suitable properties in or around or near you. Because a home in California, when it sells, typically could buy 3 homes in some other states or 4 homes. And so we would use that script. And again, it all started with a relationship with the tenant.
Love that. That's great stuff. That's the inside track, you guys. That's cutting out all the competition. You befriend the tenants and offer them something of value, offer them a dinner in the area or something that acknowledges them. I think a lot of agents never acknowledge people, and people want acknowledgement. They want to say, hey, if I'm doing something for you, what are you going to do for me in return? And that's basically how the world works. I also put in the chat box that, the second half of this year, Bill and I are going on Bill and Pete's excellent video adventure nationwide. We're going to be doing video boot camps and how to not only break into luxury, but to leverage the systems we have and all the video and why video is prevalent in any market to 10x your production. And we'll be doing those boot camps at all types of different locations around the United States. I think the first one will probably be towards I know he's doing one in Martha's Vineyard. I have a scheduling conflict. Trust me, otherwise I'd be in Martha's Vineyard. It's beautiful. And Janet Scott's out there. She's a rock star who is killing it in Edgartown. If you've never been to Edgartown, make that a goal in your life to go to Edgartown. It's beautiful. She's got a beautiful office. She's a beautiful human being, and she's a great agent. So if anybody has anyone looking for a second, third home, because that's usually what they are on the vineyard, she's the person to go to and send her referrals. All right. Janet Scott is the best. And Bill will be doing an event there on May 6th, I believe, or is it May 7th, Bill? You're muted, Bill.
Yeah, I just put that in the chat. That's going to be well, it's Mother's Day that Sunday. So we're going to have a boot camp on Friday, but then we're having like another big event, and we're trying to get Jason Guessing and some of the other big wigs and have a luxury event right there at the hotel. Prices are not that expensive at that time. So check out the boot camp, but we're going to really go to the next level. The in-person boot camps are really the way to go, and everybody's been very happy because we're developing, all of these things that we're doing, and they just keep evolving. So we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, and Bill will teach you guys firsthand how to shoot videos, how to edit them through iMovie and so forth, and get them out on social media to drive leads and drive production. Because we all know that video sends and creates a certain perception, and that's what you want to do. I believe another luxury agent will be attending that is Lisa Parento. She's a great agent from Cape Cod, a friend of mine, and she's a rock star too. So Janet's lining up with Bill a great panel, a great event. They're going to turn it into a Kentucky Derby event on the vineyard. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So anybody who wants to attend, reach out to them if you're in that area. If you just want to fly in and check it out, should be a dynamite weekend. You can reach Janet at janet@thevineyardlife.com, or you can look her up on Workplace if you're with EXP. If you're not, her direct number is 508-662-8204. And you can reach Bill confidentially if you want to really up your game and take your business to the next level. Go to kerboxmedia.com. Does anybody want to have any last remarks before we close? I think this has been a phenomenal session to help everybody's production. I mean, Betty Gales came in hot. Matt came in hot. Mitch was in and out. He's coming in hot. Dennis is throwing letters everywhere like a postman. Brian Yarber has all types of tips to take down tenants. Craig Lurch, the birthday boy, is saying, look at this, how we're doing it back in Philly style. And by the way, you guys don't even know this. Every time you list a house with Craig, he gives you a dozen cheesesteaks. How's that for a deal? You can't go wrong.
I gotta send you one.
Yeah, trust me, I need one. I don't know if you're going to Pat's or you're going to the other place. We'll have to figure that out. But these are very informative conversations, and we're trying to give us all the tips that we're using you guys right now in production to do 175, 200 million a year in sales, and invite everybody I don't care what company they're with. Our goal is to help people and create and bring value. We all live by one synonymous type of theory, and that is the more people you help, the more you put out there, the more it'll come back to you. So, go out of your way and say, hey, we're on this great mastermind every Thursday, 9 to 10, and we're bringing value. We're coming in hot, and we're bringing value that will help your production right now in the business and create that relationship. That's the key to life, is great relationships. Okay, does anybody want to close out? We have 2 minutes left, 120 seconds. Let's go around real fast. Give me the hot tips. Dennis, go.
Send out 5 texts today to people and tell them about how strong the market is, and see if there's anything you can do to help them.
Thank you, Dennis Kerbox. Now let's go over to Dennis D'Souza.
The letters, guys, just focus on it. Get somebody to write those letters because your hand will get tired. But if you need some tips on it, email me. My email's in there, and I'll tell you exactly the process to do.
You can use TaskRabbit to do that also. Betty Gales.
It's totally a numbers game. So you just got to implement.
Okay, Brian Yarber.
Be consistent in whatever you do. I've been sending a Christmas card with a picture of my family for 37 years. And I have grandkids in my pictures now, and I have people that call me to list just because of the growth of my family.
Inconsistent. Craig Lurch.
Get out of your own way. The information here is golden. It's just a matter of you doing it.
Yep, just do it. Matt Battiata, the man, the myth, the legend. He's now touring with Pearl Jam on their new tour. Go ahead.
So I've got a great line that I learned from a lot of our good friend Brian Moses, and he would always say, price is a function of demand. So when you have, which I use that line all the time, when you have a seller that maybe wants to get a cash offer or sell off market, whatever you say, you can always get more in the open market. price is a function of demand. And that's always a golden reason for the seller to put their house on the open market.
Love it. You guys be scheduled. Just remember, your name is not James Bond, and your name is not, what's the other guy there? Jason Bourne. All right. You're not a secret agent. Get out and get known and get in the public and get belly to belly. People do business with people they like. People do business with people they trust, and people do business with people who are in front of them. That's it. Go get it. Go make it happen. We can all do this, and we can take, real estate to a new level. Thanks for joining us. Next week, what's our topic? Did we discuss that? All right, somebody throw me an idea. Not everybody at once. This is deafening.
We can go back to getting offers accepted. There's so many topics. Why don't we just come up with one this week and we'll send it out to everybody?
Okay, we'll post it on the tribe, EXP, the tribe on Workplace, and we'll post it. It's everybody's goal this week to invite one person, pay it forward, that this can help, to this mastermind next week. All right. Everybody have a great week. Be productive, be happy, live your life, do the best you can.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for attending. All right, guys, great stuff. Thanks again.